Hi, guys. Welcome. Glad to have you back. Excited for another wonderful day. So, I try to break this up into three sections. One, we talk about something that you can do at home, and then I want to get into meditation, and then we'll want to move into some other form of modality. Today, we're going to switch it up a little bit, not too much. For the first part, I want to talk about laughter yoga. Laughter is something, well, first of all, most people say laughter is the best medicine. I tend to agree with that. I know when I'm feeling blue, sometimes, just on Facebook, they've got stand-up comedy page or whatever you can follow and watch a couple of the 10, 20-minute videos of the stand-up comedies. Usually will make me laugh. There's different ways. They've got those vines on YouTube or whatever that you can watch, the try not to laugh ones. You end up busting up laughing. Those are fun too. But anyway, so yeah, I want to talk a little bit about laughter yoga, and then we'll get into meditation. After that, I'm going to talk about eye patching today. I know we talked a little bit about it yesterday. We're going to review it today. I know eye patching is something that you can do by yourself at home in a sense, but we'll work into that. Again, that's kind of the format, but we'll see how it goes. So, to begin with, I want to talk a little bit about laughter yoga. Laughter yoga was invented, and I hope I say his name right. I apologize if I don't. Dr. Madan Katra, but he was a medical doctor in Mumbai, India. He wanted to study the effects of laughter on the body. He decided one morning to go to the park and see if he could get a laughter group together in a sense. And he just walked around to people and said, "Hey, do you want to laugh?" And I mean, to me, that sounds awesome. If somebody was like, "Hey, you want to come join my laughter group or laughter club?" I'd be like, "Well, yeah, who doesn't want to laugh?" That's just me, though. And so he got a group of people together just at his local park, and they all try to tell each other jokes and laugh and, get each other going. And that was the beginning of it. And then, from what I remember, they ran out of some jokes, and so they were trying to figure out other ways to induce laughter. And that's when they came up with some mantras and the technique of laughter yoga. Another thing that I like about laughter yoga is its childlike playfulness. When you're doing it, part of it is acting silly, so people can laugh at you. And you can laugh at them, and then you have fun together, like childlike playfulness. You gotta leave your adultness at the door. But yeah, laughter yoga, super powerful. I love it. Another thing I thought was interesting when studying with laughter yoga is laughing and crying are on the same switch, if you will, or it's the same coin, just one side's laughter, one side's crying, and so it's very interesting. Some people will laugh so hard they start crying, or some people will start crying so hard they start laughing. I enjoy looking at this and studying it. One thing that you can do on your own, I personally practice this. I try to laugh a lot, I guess. One thing I want to try with you guys today is doing 1 minute of laughter. Laughing for 1 minute. Now, to start off with, it might be forced, and that's okay. And it might move into actual laughter. In fact, you might look at me and say, "That guy looks silly," and start laughing at me, which, if that's the case, I'm glad you're laughing. It got you to smile. Hopefully. Laughter is the best medicine. Also, in laughter yoga, we study some other doctors. One of them more famous is Patch Adams. Maybe I shouldn't say more famous, but, they've got the movie about him. There was Dr. William Fry and a Dr. Lee Burke, and they all basically came before Dr. Ketra, if I'm saying that right. And so he took what they already knew about laughter and the effects on the body and moved it forward, or helped advance the study, if you will. Another thing I thought was really interesting is if I remember right, they said 1 minute of mirthful laughter, mirthful, like gut-wrenching, tears in your eyes, like it hurts to laugh, that kind of laughter. 1 minute of that is worth, and again, I'll double check, but it's 1 minute is equivalent to 30 minutes on a treadmill. As far as your circulatory system, your cardiovascular system, the way that it pumps your blood, and 1 minute is equivalent to 30 minutes on a treadmill. Personally, I'd prefer to laugh for a minute than have to go run for a half hour. I don't know, maybe not. I've heard of the runner's high and all that. Maybe we can get into that and talk to some people about that. I'm not something I've experienced. I'm not a runner. But anyway, so back to laughter yoga. A lot of fun. Enjoy it. You can always look for laughter clubs in your area. You can Google it. Different ways to find it. One of the ways I found it was some ladies would go to the library and have a laughter club at the library. They do a different library each week, if I remember right. So that way they kind of get around their town, and different people in different areas could come to the different classes. And anyway, so back to it. Again, it might be forced at first, but in my mind, I'm going to start thinking about funny things that made me laugh. That time that me and my friend did that stupid, silly thing, or that time that, I fell off the boat into the lake. I don't know, whatever, just anything that's gonna bring up that funny laughter kind of ha 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 feeling. And again, if it's you can do it with me or just watch me, but I'm gonna do 1 minute of laughter. Oh. 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 Whew, okay, I gotta stop now. Whew. Oh. Oh, whew. I love laughing. It feels so good. Again, if you can't just turn it on like that, and I'll be honest, I couldn't. This is practice. I try to keep funny little tidbits in my mind, whether it's a Far Side comic or something silly that happened with me and some friends. I try to keep that in my mind so I can draw upon those. I'm working on just being able to laugh at will. I don't know if some of you have seen this. If you haven't, I would recommend. There's videos on the internet where like a guy gets on a bus and he's looking at a tablet and he starts laughing. And he starts laughing harder and harder, and then eventually the whole bus erupts in laughter, and everybody's laughing. I'd like to try and do that. Maybe I will, and we can film it and show you guys. I don't know. I'm trying to work up to where I can just turn on the laughter and go, kind of like I did. Like, yeah, it's awesome. I love laughter. Laughter yoga. Like I said, when I first heard about it, it was in a book that I first read about it, and it just kind of talked a little bit about how he got a start and how he just went around to people in the park and wanted to get them to start laughing and study the effects of laughter on the body. And again, my mind was just like, who doesn't want to do that? Like, that sounds like a lot of fun. I don't know. But that's me, and that's my personality. So yesterday's card was harmony. Got the nice yin-yang going. Yin-yang, however you want to say that. But yeah, so if it's not something you can turn on, that's fine. Like I said, there's other ways to induce laughter. On the flip side of that, I did talk about laughter being on the same side of the coin as crying. Now, I would say I'm still studying as far as laughter is a energetical release, and it definitely is, but I would also say it's a very different release than crying. I would highly recommend crying. I try to do it once a month. Just it's a good release. Just get it out there. I've heard or somebody said, and I don't know if famous or just a friend, but they said, crying is a way to clean the soul. If you have a dirty window, the sunlight can't shine through and you can't see out very well. So it's smart to wash it once in a while. And to me, that's kind of what crying is just washing emotionally, I guess, putting down some of that baggage. However you want to look at it, say it. It's a great, great healing technique that we can all do. Whether I got to watch some sad videos, listen to some sad songs, I try to induce crying just like I did laughter. Now, I cannot cry on demand like I can laugh on demand. I can turn the laughter on, almost whenever I want, but the Crying, not so much. Now, I have taken a drama class in, high school or acting, and one of the things they said is if you watch in movies, and I thought this is interesting, I've been able to notice now that they pointed it out, but some actors will laugh, and if they're crying or covering their face, let me move my mic. Let's say I hear some bad news. Sound similar. They seem similar. Like I said, they're on the same side of the coin, if you will. One side, heads, tails, one side's laughter, one side's crying kind of thing. And awesome stuff. Very powerful. I love it. Love laughing. Again, I would say who doesn't, but I'm sure out there somebody does, There's always a exception to the rule, I guess. Anyway. So yeah, we'll get into daily meditation. Let's see what card we get today. But yeah, I hope you've all had a wonderful day. I hope your day only gets better from here on out. Still kind of shuffling. Yeah. Once I turn it on, it's a little harder for me to turn off. Like I said, I like laughing. It's a lot of fun. Look it up in your area. You could find usually somebody, especially if you live in a bigger city. If you're like LA, Seattle, or Denver, New York, Salt Lake, any of that stuff, you probably can find. Bigger cities, Boston, whatever, probably in Florida. I'm sure you can find a laughter club near you, a laughter group. And again, they have little fun games you can play with it and stuff. And these are shuffling pretty well today. Just trying to get a card. All right, here it is. Oh, we've had that one. I'll show it to you anyway. Right speech, right action. Let's see if we can get a different one. There are 30 or 40 some cards in here, so I'd like to try and go through them all before we start repeating some. Maybe we do need to repeat it. I don't know. How about this one? Whoa, this card's a little harder to see. I can't even. So it's two hands, and yeah, I can really even read that. Graphic artist that made this should have chose a different font color. I went to school for graphic arts, and I've worked in a copy and print center for quite a while. So even just the texture of paper and things like that, fonts, things like that, I notice sticks out to me. All in fun. Real quick, we're going to go, it looks like there's 40 cards altogether. Okay, I can read it here. Creation of friendship. That's what this card is. See if I can pronounce this right now. Creation of friendships. May the light of friendship shine through me, drawing noble companionship. When we become a friend to everyone, everyone will view us as a friend. Chanting this mantra removes the fear of loneliness and provides a vibration towards companionship, unity, and communication. It is a pacifying mantra that brings understanding for relationships to be created in peace, drawing to our lives the highest, most noble of companionship. Each friendship represents a world in us, a world possibly not born until they arrive, and it is only by this meeting that a new world is born. Friendship creates a support in our lives, camaraderie with people that we have a special bond and that have helped us appreciate our journey in life. They are our confidants and earthly angels that lift us to our feet when our wings have trouble remembering how to fly. A true friend is one of the greatest of all blessings. I fully believe that. In fact, reading this, two of my friends come to mind that I'm thankful and grateful for. Well, I shouldn't say that. Actually, a lot of friends came to mind that I'm thankful and grateful for, but two that I've talked to recently and our recent conversations came up. But I'm not going to get into this too much today, but just I'll throw this caveat out there. True friendship is one of the greatest of all blessings, is what it says. One of my mentors says, actually I need the book because I can't read the card. So one of my friends says, friendships or friendship is, not friendship, relationships. Relationships are the PhD of life. And I tend to believe that. Building, maintaining, keeping, I guess that's maintaining. Friendships is one of the hardest things. I've had some fallouts with friends. I've had some friends that we just simply drifted apart. My interests went this way and their interests went that way. And it's fine. I mean, if I still got into them in the store, I'm like, hey, how you doing? Oh, that's so awesome. I'm happy for you, blah, blah. And then there's friendship or people that were toxic and I had to leave. Now, I might have even been toxic for some people, and they left. I don't know. It is what it is. But I just like that. Relationships are the PhD of life. Let's chant this for a few minutes, and then we'll get back to eye patching a little bit. So, Om Haro Hum Mi Tra Ha Ha Namaha. Om Haro Mitra Namaha. Om Haram Mitraha Namaha. Om Haru Mitraha Namaha. Om Haru Mitra Namaha. Om Haru not ni, Mitraha Namaha. Om Harum Mitraha Namaha. Om Harum Mitra Namaha. Om Harum Mitra Namaha. Om Harum Mitra Namaha. Om Harum Mitra Namaha. I almost felt like lifting weight off my shoulders. Like I felt it like right here. That felt kind of cool. And again, usually when I'm saying this, when I say, "Oh, I feel it here, I feel it there, it feels like this," as I'm saying this, I just, a little part of me kind of checks in and goes, "How's the body feeling? Does anything feel different? Feel better? My stomach hurt? Did I eat breakfast?" Just little things. But I'm focusing on the mantra, but I can still feel my body, if you will. Awesome stuff. Again, if you can, go watch Vine. Something make you laugh. It's wonderful stuff. Okay, I took some more notes. I'm going to probably just kind of re-go over some of the stuff we even talked about yesterday with the eye patching. So we talked about you have your left brain, left hemisphere, right hemisphere of your brain, however you want to say that. You have your left mode and your right mode of each side. Each side is your brain. One's organized and one's spiritual. One way they describe this is like looking at a train. Okay, so when you're eye patching, one eye, and again, this is just kind of a metaphor explaining, would be looking at the train from bird's eye, like from a helicopter. And you can see the whole train. You can kind of get the whole picture of what's going on. You could kind of see all the cars at once. You're up here and the train's down here and it's going, and it's a whole picture from what I understand is kind of what they're explaining it as. Now the other side, and I'm not sure which is which, I don't know if I just didn't read far enough and they got into that or I might have missed it, but the other side is like being on the ground in the train station as the train's whizzing by. Or maybe not the train station, maybe you're parked in your car and a little ding 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 gates come down and you're seeing the train zoom 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 zoom. That's another way that the brain sees it. So one is a bird's eye view, it's the whole picture, and one is, as this is saying, more of a detailed picture. It's more, you're on the ground, you can see each caboose, you can see maybe the graffiti written on it, you can see, whatever, you got detail. It's not just an overall generalization, I guess, is kind of how I understand it. Because one side, patching each side in a sense, one side will help you to see things differently than the other side will. So it can even help with perspective. I'll get into that a little bit more, but it's really awesome. But there's a great little cartoon on perspective I absolutely love, and it shows one man and he's sitting on a desert island and he sees another man, let's say 20 feet off, and he's in a rowboat coming towards the island. It's a small desert island and a man stranded on it. There's another man, 20 feet off in a rowboat, and he's coming towards the island. The first part, it shows it from the perspective of the guy on the island, and he says, "A boat! Yay!" And then it shows the other guy on the bottom half in the boat looking at the guy on land, and he goes, "Land! Yay!" So it's perspective, and it's good to change your perspective. I know even there's a couple best sessions I've had where go back to nothing's good or bad but thinking that makes it so, and there were some times in my life that I thought was bad or negative. And with BEST and asking myself as well as working with somebody else about changing my perspective on it, I was able to see the good in the situation and be thankful and grateful for the experience. Back to eye patching. So it's for stress relieving. It's a whole therapy. It is considered a whole therapy. It was developed by Michael Kaplan, if I'm saying that right. Kaplan. He's also the author of the book Seeing Beyond 2020, which is something I would like to pick up, and maybe I can do a review on that. Maybe you can beat me to it. Maybe you can go get the book. And then in the comments. A boat, huh? Yes. Hi. Welcome, Dark. Thanks for being here. Found the value in the therapeutic. Also, again, how I found out about this is through the Rapid Eye Institute. The Rapid Eye Institute uses this between sessions. That's one of the reasons why I first started talking about it, is because I wanted to talk about not necessarily modalities, but things that you can do on your own at home. I even talked about the Mortar March. Unfortunately, I didn't get into it when we were talking about BEST, so maybe tomorrow do a showcase on Mortar March, and I can explain how to do that. There's also videos, so you could say, hey, what is Mortar March? And you can go look up Dr. Ted and Tom Mortar. I believe even their sister Sue all do great videos on instructional videos. There's also BEST practitioners like myself that do videos for their own clients. You could probably find one of those. Anyway, so it's something that Rapid Eye recommends you do in between sessions, because one eye, well, I don't know if it's eye or the side of the brain, how that works, but one of them is going to be maybe more dominant or feel more comfortable when you're patching. Now, when you first patch, they both might feel comfortable, but one of them is going to feel a little more comfortable. And then left brain and right brain, one of them is going to be more comfortable, more soothing, I guess, if you will. They both might feel comfortable. One's going to be more. They both might feel uncomfortable, but still one's going to feel a little bit more comfortable. And so they talk about when you're stressed, you can patch the eye that feels more comfortable, and it will help with stress relief. With eye patching, it helps with trauma in the brain. Now, so it's saying the American Institute of Trauma says that trauma is stored in the left side of the brain. So does that mean patching the right eye is gonna, I don't know if, again, because you're cross-wired, your right side talks to the left brain and the left brain talks to the right eye. Yeah, I think I just said the same thing. Left eye talks to the right brain talks to left eye. You crossed. I'm not sure if you'd want to patch the right eye, and so the left brain would be open, or if you'd patch the right eye so the left brain would be closed and have to talk more furious to the other side, or if you would need to patch the left eye so the right brain shut down and the left brain's more open. Challenge you to play with that. You all have one eye that's always feels better or more positive. Yeah, patching makes you see things different. Yeah, your brain and eye are cross-wired. We've talked about that before. This is interesting too. Now, I'll try to say this right again. When your eye is patched, it sees what is called a Ganz field, named for a German researcher. Now, I apologize if I have that name wrong. Ganzfeld. Ganz field. The Ganz field is a visual field or picture that is flat with no variation. So again, if I grab my eye patch over here and you look at the inside, it's just dark. It's flat. It is a little concave. You can see the curve in it, but that's just, to fit your eye and to, like I was talking about, you want to keep that eye open. And again, this is where it gets into that Ganz field. So keeping your eye open under the patch is important, because the eye is seeing that Ganz field. It's getting no input. So it has to communicate with the other side. It has to say, hey, what's going on here? What? I'm not getting any input. I need you to tell me what's going on. I need more information. And it's going to help strengthen brain in a sense, or build more neural pathways, if I'm understanding this right. I would encourage you maybe look into it yourself. This also can lead to changes in perception, physical, mental, and emotional. Reasoning even. I would even say one step further and say probably spiritual too. Eye patching is going to help you to have a different perspective on things. Well, it might help you to have a different perspective on religion or spiritualness. I know for myself, there was a shift or a change in perspective of that little G and big G. I thought the little G guy with a big white beard sitting on a cloud, judging people, and I couldn't get behind that. It didn't sit well with me. But then studying and meditating and other things, I started to realize and listen to the big G, the spiritualness that we're all connected, and that oneness, if you will. And again, that's my personal way of describing it, or how I feel about it. I don't know, yours might be different. Anyway, it looks like I'm running a little over. This is all the time I have today. Hope you had a wonderful day. I hope you can find some laughter out there, enjoy educational. So thank you. I love doing this and appreciate you. Have a wonderful day.